Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today is Monday, which means it's time for an episode of Loadout, the series where you guys, the viewers, get to pick a gun and customization for me to use in-game. The way you do this is you leave a comment down below letting me know what kind of weapon and accessories you'd like me to run with, and I will pick one of the top-rated comments for the next episode. Today's top comment comes from William Green. He says, U.S. Secret Service Loadout P90 with holographic, laser sight flash hider, FN57 with mini laser light heavy barrel, M2 slams and an EOD bot, flashbangs, defensive field upgrade to try and play more support heavy role using mines to booby trap areas behind you, and EOD bot to scout ahead laying down suppressing fire with the P90, and as bad as they are in-game, throwing flashbangs to help advance around corners. Have a good one, LevelCap. This loadout reminds me a lot of the early Rainbow Six games where you actually had cool little tools that would allow you to put a camera underneath a doorway and see what guys were in a room or something like that. Some of the cool SWAT tactics that you could use, and the EOD bot seems to sort of serve that type of purpose. In actuality, this loadout is pretty goofy. The idea of scouting ahead with an EOD bot and laying suppressive fire with a P90 is insane. P90 suppressive fire is a joke. Like, somebody could stand on a hilltop, and they were a lot while I was playing with the P90, absorbing the fire from the P90 and just laughing at you. You cannot kill people from far with a P90. It's kind of a joke. And here I'm actually trying out this tactic, playing a rush game where the EOD bot can be somewhat useful, but as you can see, pushing up between objectives involves a lot of long-range firefighting, and you can see it's going to take me a lot of bullets just to hit people at range, and they got plenty of time to duck down behind cover. Now I'm going to get some kills here because this is one of the few times that I was actually able to kill people at medium to long range with this weapon. I end up actually switching over to other weapons because I would just run out of bullets with the P90, and then I'd pick up a carbine or something and actually be able to get somewhere at medium range combat. Now I mentioned this recently in a video review on the A91, but I find that PDWs and a lot of closer range weapons in Battlefield 4 are suffering a lot from maps that just aren't really designed for close quarter combat. As you can see here, there's very few areas where I'm going to make use of a weapon for close quarters. You could say, oh sure, I could hop over this fence and find somebody in one of these tents here, and that would be the only place that I could actually use a P90 effectively in this map. Otherwise, it's all going to be medium range. There's going to be very little I can do. I know I have the AK-5C right now, and it's simply because I ran out of bullets for the P90, and I had to actually still get some work done, and I managed to kill the two guys on the MCOM there, and then we get the destroy. So as much as I would have liked to use this loadout in the way it was described here, I really had to take it into close quarter maps, which involves, again, a lot of team deathmatch and a lot of domination scenarios, because that's the only place you're going to get good close quarter action. Even playing Rush on Operation Locker, I found involved too many long range scenarios where the P90 was still losing out really bad, because you end up hitting all these long range corridors that are blocked off by people really well, and you just can't deal with an Ace-23 or a machine gun with a P90 at medium range. You're gonna get outshot easily. The P90 has to be hip fired at point blank range or extreme close quarters. Building clearing, it's perfect for. So you need buildings and lots of rooms that you can get to easily that don't involve you running long distances down corridors or out in open space where you're subjected to engage people at longer ranges. So let's get into the science of the gun. Here's our chart from simthick.com on the P90. It shoots at 900 rounds per minute, which is absolutely a great rate of fire. The only downside is that it only does 21 maximum damage. Most carbines and assault rifles will do 25 maximum damage, which is considerably more considering that that is a 4-shot kill. 21 damage is a 5-shot kill, so you're going to have to put one extra bullet into your targets on average. Now, if you look at the drop-off, it goes all the way down to 11.2 damage, which is pretty darn low, and it ends up hitting that low damage at around 60 meters. So you are severely nerfed at medium and longer range combat. You really don't want to waste your ammo there. You kind of want to only use it defensively at those ranges. If you're trying to make it across some open ground and somebody starts shooting at you, and you realize you're not going to make it to cover unless you try and engage your opponent, that's when you can use it for medium or longer ranges. But ultimately, I would say just try not to waste your ammo. Save it for close quarters, save it for your really up close hipfire scenarios. One of the great benefits of this weapon is that even though each shot is doing a little bit less damage than your average carbine or assault rifle, it has a magazine of 50 rounds. This means that the damage potential per magazine before you need to reload is considerably higher than your average assault rifle, so it's going to give you more killing potential. If you run into a building and there's 3 guys in a room, you can kill them all pretty easily while hip firing without needing to reload. And that's the benefit. It might be a lot trickier to do that with an assault rifle that has a 30 round magazine. The laser sight makes tons of sense on this weapon. The hipfire accuracy of the P90 is phenomenal. The laser sight makes it even better, and you're going to need that advantage. Not needing to aim down sights in extreme close quarters and just hipfire your opponents to death is going to give you that advantage and allow you to win those firefights that really count. So the way you want to move around the map with this weapon is stay away from the big open spaces. Here we are on Operation Locker, the map that I said it can work on, but you really got to stay in rooms. This is a room clearing gun. You want to keep it in rooms, and you'll notice that a lot of the clips here, I kind of stay in rooms. I sometimes will camp in a room, make my enemies come to me where I have the advantage. Now for infantry only game modes, there isn't really a point in running M2 slams. You're essentially wasting one of your equipment slots since they don't do really anything against infantry. So I did swap out for the small that gave me the ability to hit targets at longer ranges and open up some walls and allow me to move around a little bit more tactically, and that's really important when running with the P90. You want to be able to outflank your opponents, and especially in room clearing in Battlefield 4, so many of the walls are destructible. They allow you to really sort of be creative with your pathing through the map, and you need some sort of explosives to take advantage of that. Again, you'll notice most of my kills in these clips, I'm not even aiming down sights. The hipfire accuracy on the P90 is so good that you really can just hipfire a lot of people, and when you have that larger field of view without having to aim down sights, it can allow you to react quicker to incoming hostiles. When you aim down sights and you're engaging an enemy, it's easier for players to sneak up on your peripheral vision because your field of view gets more narrow and you kind of get a little bit more focus. So again, for room clearing without aiming down sights, you can have a really good idea of what's going on around you. And target prioritization with a P90, and especially for room clearing, is a big portion of the game. You have to take out the target that's the biggest threat to you first. Not aiming down sights allows you to get a good big overall picture of what's going on. You pop into a room, there's 3 guys, 2 of them have their backs turned to you, 1 of them's facing you. You gotta shoot the guy facing you first. That, again, is much easier to assess when you're not aiming down sights all the time. Now, as far as sidearms go, the FN57 really is at sort of the bottom of the list in terms of my appreciation for sidearms. It's got good hipfire accuracy. You really don't have to aim down sights too much, but the maximum damage, again, is 20, and with a semi-auto weapon doing 20 damage maximum, it can take you a long time to kill a target, especially if that target's jumping around, moving around very quickly in close quarters, which is where you expect to be fighting. It's going to be a hard pistol to use. I would highly recommend using something that's going to dish out a little bit more damage in close quarters, or perhaps offer you a decent option for medium to longer ranges. So a G18 would be great for the close quarter stuff. Using something like a 1911 for decent medium range damage might not be a bad option either. The FN57 does have really good bullet velocity, so you could argue that it's one of the better pistols for range, but again, how many times are you going to need to shoot your target to bring him down at range? A lot. Because once you start going to range, you're doing less than 20 damage, so it's not just a 5-shot kill, it turns into a 6-shot kill, and sometimes even more depending how far you go down that damage drop-off. Overall, the P90 is an excellent weapon. You absolutely must use the laser sight on there. Suppressor would be a nice attachment to it. Otherwise, flash hider is also great. I highly recommend this loadout with the exception of the EOD bot, unless you are playing on a rush game where the EOD bot can be useful for arming and disarming MCOMs. So that wraps it up for this episode of Loadout. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to leave your comments down below letting me know what you'd like me to run for next week, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.